Good evening, everyone. This is the Geek-Posium. My name is Darren Silvers. And my slightly scatterbrained co-host.
I got caught in a boss battle on Trails of Cold Steel and I lost track of time and
I warned you about the endurance runs that is Trails of Cold Steel boss battles. Pure endurance. Oh Lord, let me pull up some of the articles because now I have forgotten what we're talking about. Oh, we're talking about Space Daddy. Elon Musk in the news all week long. I'm having a hard time. I'm having a hard time keeping track of him at this point. How about you?
Well, yeah, the feds are looking into him because he's trying to buy Twitter.
The SEC is looking into him because he's trying to buy Twitter, and he didn't file something timely enough. And
well, that's Elon's not the greatest at paperwork. He's in a constant battle with the FAA over shit with SpaceX.
Yeah.
He just does tests and forgets to tell the FAA all the time. So I don't think it's anything malicious.
I think he's just a scatterbrained individual. That's
like,
and
like he's not necessarily he's got good business instincts, but I'm not sure. I think he needs an army of secretaries to keep track of everything.
Yeah, he managed to keep track of his own stuff for like a year and told his secretary to fuck off. I remember that. Article. Everyone's like, "Can you believe he fired his secretary?" And he goes, and he says, "I paid her for free for a year. Well, I did all the work she was supposed to do, and I did it on my own without her having to do anything. She got a year free of doing nothing."
Yeah.
And I'm like, fuck.
He needs someone to advise her not to stick his dick in crazy though.
Well, you can't help that sometimes.
And not pay for crazy's pledges.
Beyond that, Elon Musk wants Twitter to prove that 5% of their users are bots. None of us believe that. None of us believe that 5% of Twitter users are bots.
It's gonna be like 30%.
I'm gonna lowball that to about 25. Say a quarter of their users.
It's somewhere between a quarter and a third.
Yeah. That's me personally, because if we just remove the accounts that don't do anything, 25%. If we add those, 30.
Maybe 40 if you add inactive accounts.
Dear God, that's just too many.
And then you get to people who have like multiple accounts.
Well, I of course have multiple accounts. I have my personal account and then my business account, and other things. But I'm not sure if you can really. Should we even count business accounts as users? That's a wholly different question.
Yeah, that is a different question.
That's one of those things. And when people are like, because everyone was up in arms over fuck it, I'm just going to go ahead and say James O'Keefe. He's like he's running. He's trying to get around with his Twitter ban. He's also running the Veritas one, and I go, it's his business.
It's his business account.
They just post articles.
Yeah.
Which is their business? They are a news undercover news journalist type thing.
Yeah. Now, sometimes you might accidentally post on your business account. I know. I
never accidentally post on my business account. I always mean to post on my business account.
Well, your business account is horny, so you're allowed to be horny on Maine.
There are my bagels. All right. Like before you popped on, I'm like I had a thing of bagels in front of me a second ago, and God knows where the fuck I put them, because I woke up an hour ago half asleep, just like.
Both having off days.
Yep. The dog is barking. If anyone can hear that, I'm terribly sorry. Nothing to do about that.
So yeah, he's in the news. SEC is investigating him. That's
normal.
He posted that, but that's nothing new. He's always getting investigated for something because
I saw that and I'm like, again, and I remember every left wing person was like, see, this is the moment he's going down. And I'm like, no, this is like Tuesday.
It's a Tuesday.
It's a Tuesday. Whatever. Next thing I'm gonna see Republicans going, look, Biden's slurring his words. He's going crazy. I go, yeah, whatever. Yeah, it's Tuesday. Tuesday. What the fuck you want?
It's sad it's Tuesday, but it's Tuesday.
What do you mean Putin and Russia isn't bowing down to our demands and we're only hurting ourselves? Yeah. So like that was an ongoing thing. When you had so the current thing is on hold, and then Veritas might have just blew up Twitter's deal entirely with their expose. I don't care if YouTube's gonna fucking shadow ban this. The expose that they did. I'm just like, if you guys haven't seen, James O'Keefe likes to have undercover people go on dates with all of these people and these people are so narcissistic. They just sit there and they air all their dirty laundry about their corporation right in front of. And I'm like, if someone asked me, what's it like working at whatever company, I go, it's okay, you know. And then I talk about like the food and like my day-to-day work and nothing of particular. Like, yeah, you know, I'm on my feet for like this many hours, but it's not that bad because this, that.
How these people ever freaking work in a freaking like
corporate office?
Not just a corporate office, but he's also done it to government officials too.
No, to be fair, Eric Swalwell was banging that Chinese spy for a good long while. We all know it. We all know he was getting some of that Jing Yang Pang strange.
That wasn't what I was talking about, but I was pointing about Veritas, not espionage in general.
Oh, I'm just thinking about espionage in general. One was like, yeah, can you believe this? I go, yeah, Eric Swalwell, but you know, I'd also give up government secrets for some sweet Chinese poon.
Good thing I don't work for the government anymore.
The People's Republic of China. If you would, I prefer taller Chinese girls with huge titties. All right. when I run for Congress, just hit me up. You know what's really bad about that now is that if I do actually become a congressperson, every single Asian girl who approaches me, I'm like, no, and then what happened? I'm banging this Russian chick. Darren, Russia. Listen, it's not China, okay? I said China specifically. I went for one country. Who's this girl? Oh, she's some girl from Saudi Arabia. Really, Darren? Shut up.
Oh, here's
a nice Cuban girl.
Oh, I was gonna say, here's this nice Jewish girl. Totally not a Mossad agent. Not at all.
Well, that's a lie. All Jews are Mossad agents. They just don't know it yet.
You're trying really hard to get this one not just shadow banned, but banned.
Oh, come on, Rumble. Sweet Rumble. Everyone knows the Jews are Mossad agents there.
Oh God.
I don't know if that's true or not. I haven't watched enough Rumble content that isn't like my normal YouTube stuff.
Yeah, mostly what I watch on Rumble is YouTube stuff.
And I'm just like, I'm like, oh, my Rumble thing's going off. So is my YouTube one. Rumble. I'm gonna support them more. No, there is one stream I watch, which is Hard News Network. They got banned off of YouTube, and The only reason I noticed was because I saw the notification go out, because he always takes like a half hour before he actually streams, so he'll just have like an intro thing going off for like half an hour, and it's a very raunchy, very shock jock-ish version of like political news, which is all that I want. I just want someone to sit there and tell me that Eric Swalwell is banging Chinese hookers in the middle of the day. That's all that I need. Like, get really up in there as to how wrong things are. He was like banned, and I'm like, oh. I'm like, is this because he was talking about the vaccine, or was he talking about like the government? Was he talking about like Jill Biden?
Was he talking about the disinformation board that is now no more?
That's gone. The guy, and I'm like, all right, well, because I clicked on the thing and it was like, this stream has been banned from YouTube at this time, and I go, oh, Rumble. So that was a thing. But watching, so that's kind of like the only time I've gone, oh, and Rumble, and done, and there we are. And when Steven Crowder eventually gets banned from YouTube, it's
again.
Coming. It's coming. Again. We all know it's coming.
Again, it's already happened.
I mean, permanently this time.
If it happens permanently, that will be a glorious lawsuit to be entertained by.
Isn't there already a glorious lawsuit to be entertained by involving YouTube and Steven Crowder?
Yes.
There we are.
I haven't checked in on it in a while.
No, neither have I, but it's also one of those things of we're probably at the boring portions of just back and forth. No, my dick's bigger than yours. No, my dick's bigger than yours.
Pretty much.
So
they might have resolved it quietly, and then they're just waiting. Most lawsuits you hear them announced, and then they don't go to trial because they're resolved quietly. No one says anything.
Speaking of things that no one cares about, Final Fantasy 15 has now topped 10 million copies shipped and sold. How long has that been out? Like 8 years?
A while.
5 years? It's been a long time.
How many copies?
10 million.
I'm surprised it took this long.
I'm not. Here's Final Fantasy 15 suffers from the decline of Final Fantasy involving 13.
Oh, yeah.
And then it was an action RPG game. Most people who play Final Fantasy 12 was like, okay, well, it's still turn-based. I can like pause things for a second and like change stuff. And then Final Fantasy 13 came out and we're like, fuck auto.
I tried playing Final Fantasy 13 again, and then I realized I could literally just walk away.
Yeah.
And let the game play it by itself.
Yeah. Don't get me wrong, I did the same thing with 12 when I got enough gambits together. I'm like, oh, I can that's actually how I power leveled. I would just leave the PlayStation 2 on at home while I went to school, and I came back and went, oh, I gained like 12 levels. Sweet.
That's what I should have done. Because I went like I stopped playing Final Fantasy 13 for like 10 years because I went through it very under level because I just started skipping battles because it was a long hallway. There was nothing to keep the grind interesting. I like the grind, but it's got to be interesting.
There has to be something there, please. Final Fantasy 15 suffers from big open area with really not a lot to do. And
so it's the opposite of 13.
But it's just one straight line the whole way. There's very little there's lots of side quests, but all your side quests kind of happen in one area, and that's it. So once you leave the big giant island, now you're stuck in story mode. There's no stopping it. And then once you get back from the island, you're stuck in story mode. There's no stopping it. It's like, okay, congrats, you're back to your main continent. You now have to go and do the boss battle. Okay. Also, you're now driving straight there. Enjoy. And I go, oh, great. I get to drive the car. Woo. The process of the storyline was very hard to understand, because to understand the storyline, you had to read the comic book and then watch the anime, and then you could play the game.
That's just Give me the story in whatever form I want to watch it.
If I bought the video game, I want the storyline in the video game.
Like, it's cool when you have secondary materials and then those characters from secondary materials show up.
This was all primary,
but it shouldn't be required.
You know,
if
this
that
was
makes any sense.
Yeah, it should not be required, but this was all primary, all primary.
Like, if I'm watching The Mandalorian, it shouldn't be like you shouldn't have to know who Ahsoka Tano is if you're a mainline Star Wars fan.
Yeah,
it's cool if you know. It's cool if you know.
It should be a standalone standalone production. It's you'll see this in Trails of Cold Steel 3 when you play it. Well, I can say to people, you can play Trails of Cold Steel 3 and not have to play 1 and 2 or Trails of Zero, but you'll get more out of it if you play the first couple. If you play at least 1 and 2 to start.
Well, I should wait to play 3 and 4 until I get to 0. Till I play 0.
No. It's not that good. It's not that important.
Okay.
It's like all the characters from Trails of Cold Steel will show up, but they're not that integral to the story.
Okay.
It's like, oh, cool, you're here. I get to use you for like a little while. I get to use you for a portion of field study day.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not
it's like when he used Angelica for a hot minute in part of 1.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. It's like okay, yeah, no, and we're done. It's one of those things. Speaking of Trails, so you're finally playing Trails of Cold Steel. I've tried after like 3 years or like 2 years of me trying to get you.
Yeah, after 3 years of you trying to get me to play it.
I'm like, you will love this game. Play it.
You're right, but I had to do it in my own time.
I know. And I was like, you will enjoy this. It is just anime tropes to video game.
It is.
It really, really is. I'm not saying that's bad. I mean, for people who like anime and JRPGs, it's like, this is perfect. For people who don't like either of those things, it's probably not the right game for you.
It's probably not. It's a grindy JRPG, and you probably, in order to get stuff, I'm gonna have to play it a second time, even though I've dumped 40 hours into it already.
You cannot get every single thing in your notebook completed in one playthrough. It's not physically possible. Every single person who's done a walkthrough will tell you the same thing. It will take 2 times, which is why the first time people play, I say, you do not use a walkthrough, just do your own thing. And on your second playthrough, you'll have an easier time.
Okay. That's why, like, I know I've missed stuff left and right.
Yeah.
Which is why I'm gonna fire up a walkthrough on my second playthrough.
Maybe why a walkthrough on rumble.com. Whenever the hell I finish that. I'm gonna probably finish the game this weekend and then get the Rumble channel together and then start putting the tutorial together. Now that I have all of the 300 gigs of fucking video content. Which I then have to shorten down to 10-minute segments. That is how I will get most of my views. Small portions.
Yeah, hit that algorithm. The algorithm likes 10 minutes.
I don't know if the Rumble algorithm likes 10 minutes, but people tend to like 10-minute things. They don't have to sit through like, here's chapter 1. Fuck. It's like, here's day 1. 10 minutes, you're done. Here's day 2, 10 minutes, you're done.
Which is annoying because I'm a person who likes that. Like what we're doing right now.
All right. Sorry, you froze on me. Like I like first do blip, and I went.
Oh, I was saying the 10-minute thing is annoying because I'm a person who likes long form content.
Well, I'll just put it on autoplay. It should autoplay to the next one in the playlist.
Yeah,
that's how I would do it anyway. And I'll have portions like here's the current part in this dungeon. I'm not gonna have you sit through every single portion of this dungeon. I will explain the enemies in this area. You can skip to this portion right here if you would like, or you can continue with this. I will not tell you how to go and walk through this, or unless you have to do special things with the levers and crap. Stupid levers. I'm like, okay, cool. I'm almost done with this portion of the dungeon. I start walking by, and then like I see a treasure chest in the corner. I go, fuck, I missed something. Turn around. Yeah. And I'm like, how do I get there? Stupid map.
One of the frustrating things about the dungeons in that game is the sheer amount of backtracking.
Oh, it's okay. It's the storyline gets a lot better. You're almost to the end. The storyline gets a lot better in 2.
I've enjoyed the storyline so far.
You'll love the storyline in 2. It's a little more. Well, it starts off with, I don't know what to do. I'm powerless. I need type stuff, and then he kind of goes, and then he gets in the robot and fights.
He gets in the robot.
He gets in the robot, and I'm like, this is just Gundam, but you watch me go, this is just Gundam, like
but steampunk,
but steampunky, and
actually, diesel punk is the right term.
I don't fucking care. All right, there's giant robots outside of the train being used for you to move around. There's not a lot of tech being used.
Well, the things are kind of like they're cell phones, but also like magical devices.
Yeah, that's a different issue. But people who get a chance to try out Trails of Cold Steel, you can buy 1 and 2 for PC and PlayStation.
3 and 4 are also
3 and 4
PC, but I haven't bought them yet.
3 and 4 is also available on PS4, PC, and Switch. I would suggest the Switch version for those of you who, like me, don't have a lot of time in the day to play games, but you can sit down on like your travel commute, play your game that way.
I don't have a commute, so
I do. So it works out fine for me to have it on the Switch. Trails of Zero, which is 1 and 2 are old PS Vita games. 3 and 4, I think, were designed for the PS4.
I think so, yeah.
I'm not entirely certain. And
which is why the save files don't transfer over.
Which is kind of annoying. I mean, it's a little. It wouldn't matter that much because there's years of difference between 2 and 3.
Yeah.
There's also a visual novel between 2 and 3 that they keep harping back on, so you kind of get the information from the visual novel. But if you've seen the visual novel, you're probably just like, stop talking about this. I already know. So, yay. Also in 2, you live in a hot spring town.
Interesting.
Yes, because it's your town. Apparently, your town is famous for its hot springs. Also, snowboard mini game. What? You have been doing all the fishing stuff, right?
I'm like 90% done with all the fishing stuff.
You aren't gonna finish it. There's no chance to fish where you are now.
Yeah, I'm not gonna finish it this round.
And it happens. If you finish the fishing stuff, you get a really good accessory or quartz. I don't remember. One of those two.
Yeah, I think I've got 18 out of 20 fish.
Yeah, it gets annoying to finish everything. That's a thing. What else was there? But Trails of Zero is coming out this September. It is a PSP game, so everyone is chibi.
I remember that era of video games.
Yeah. Well, I looked at it and I'm like, nostalgia. I look at it and I just go, nostalgia. This is what I want.
Why do you have a Radeon RX 5700 when you're playing PSP games? Because fuck you.
You could have just used your motherboard internally. Shut up.
No, because the Radeon processor doesn't have internal not Radeon. My model of Ryzen processor doesn't have internal graphics.
Oh, sucks to be you.
Well, that's what I get for faster speed.
Mm-hmm. One of us is on Discord and it ain't me.
It's me.
Yeah, so that's an ongoing thing. So check out Trails of Zero if you guys enjoy turn-based RPGs or JRPGs. It is not as weeby.
You said August?
September.
Okay.
September. It's
Oh,
coming out.
right in college. Right when the semester starts up again.
I think
it's your time to play it.
I think it's like the end of September. This is why Switch is your best friend. You can like.
I only saw it for PS4 and computer though.
It's also coming out on the Switch. So PC, PS4, and Switch.
I'll probably get it on PC anyway because sitting around between classes.
Yeah, pretty much. And in that one, you're playing a Cap. You're playing a Cap.
Yeah, I saw something that it was like characters from class 7, and characters from previous games are showing up.
I don't know. Maybe.
That's Trails of Zero, not Trails of whatever.
Yeah, Trails of Zero is I don't remember
from what I was reading. And
then
because I was looking into the new game that's coming out next year.
Yeah, that's a different one.
And like the Trails of Zero protagonist is going to be like your supervisor, and then Green's helping somehow.
I can't tell you what's going on there because you have to play 4.
Yeah, I know.
And I couldn't tell you what's up with Lloyd because I didn't play 0. I don't want to spoil 2 for you, but you do see Lloyd in 2. And it's really confusing. You're like, why am I here? What's going on? And then like the game finishes and you go, well, all right then. Yeah, it's like, oh. So everyone becomes a fit in the end, huh?
So to be a similar feeling to what I had last night when me and Neil went to go see the new Eureka 7 movie, not realizing that it was the 3rd movie in a trilogy.
So you didn't watch one. You didn't watch the one with the girls, the all girl one.
We didn't watch that one.
Oh,
we didn't realize it was part of a trilogy. We didn't realize it was part of a trilogy.
You were probably confused as hell.
Yeah, I was just like, wait, what? They came to our Earth. America has a Go Lion team that's all female.
Yeah. What else is? It's kind of like watching the Fate movies out of order. You're like, I don't know what the fuck's going on. Even and like it's hard enough paying attention when you watch them in order. But then you're out of order and you're just like, fuck.
You shut your whore mouth about Fate.
Fate's a whore game. Literally, it started off about a game about whores.
To be fair, originally it wasn't.
I don't care what originally it was. That's what it is.
Originally, it was about a little girl summoning a hero to save her. And that hero was King Arthur. But it didn't sell. It was a good story, but it didn't sell.
Until you started
and then the author and the artist went and made a porn game where they turned Dracula female. Called Tsukihime. It's like, hey, this works. Let's rework our old story. And that's how King Arthur became a chick.
I did like the Tsukihime anime when it came out.
We don't talk about the Tsukihime anime.
Yes, I do. I enjoyed it. It was weird.
The visual novel was so much better.
I'm aware. You know, you couldn't get a. Excuse me. You couldn't get around Japanese censorship on TV.
Point.
That was just not going to happen. Both of us are just tired. We're both.
And they just combined like 3 different routes for the anime, but they didn't connect them.
Yeah, it was very confusing.
Yeah, it got real fucking confusing. It's like, wait a minute, I remember doing this, I remember doing this, and I remember doing this, but not at the same time.
Yep. We're gonna have to do some more politics here. Video game journalists demand various video game companies talk about Roe v. Wade.
You're gonna get me in trouble, aren't you?
Listen,
because my views on Roe v. Wade piss everybody off.
We don't need anyone's views on Roe v. Wade. How about this giant multi-million-dollar company that sells me hot dogs? Sell me hot dogs.
I don't want to hear about their views.
Like, sell me hot dogs. If you have any views on anything that isn't hot dogs or hot dog related content, I don't care.
I don't care.
If you say to me, hey, our hot dogs are great and amazing, also, you should vote this way, I'll go, nah, I'm not sure about voting that way. Is it going to make your hot dogs taste better? Like you watched me explain this to someone once, because I got into it with someone about baby formula earlier, and I go, you should not do that because of these reasons. And like I went through like a very long, complicated thing. Go, yeah, but, and they just completely ignored everything I said. I go, okay, allow me to go and simplify this for you. No, it's not the same. Baby will die. Because, explaining to them the nuanced aspect as to, everything involving this, no good. So allow me to just make this easier for you. Boop, boop.
I'm not going to talk about my former clients in regards to baby formula.
It was more along the lines of people like explaining how to get baby formula from different countries. I'm like, don't do that. Do not do that. That's not good for the child. There's different regulatory boards involved, and not all formula is the same. It's made differently. It's like telling me, like, if I gave you a Coke from America and a Coke from Iraq, they taste entirely different.
Yeah, because they're modified for the modified for the local market.
Yeah, they're modified for the region, and
that's why
Mexican Coke is great.
That's why German Fanta and American Fanta are completely different.
But you try explaining
this. German Fanta is friggin' delicious, though.
If you say so.
It's also evil.
It's all the authoritarianism. So, anyway, so a lot of different people were getting into it, and people were expecting Sony to really dig into that and like bury their head further into this political nonsense like they've been doing for the last year.
They've already got half the anime community pissed off of them because of what they've done with JRPGs, and one of their subsidiaries that recently changed its name.
Yep.
To the name of the company it bought.
And then but instead, and so like they were expecting something because Sony was doing like an internal meeting type thing, and instead the CEO talked about his cat, showed off pictures of his cat. Now, I'm not saying don't do that in a business meeting.
I'm saying the primary purpose of the business meeting.
I'm saying, well, I don't really care about that. Someone brought it up, and he's like, "Yeah, no, like we're not discussing that. But if you want, we can talk about my cat." And he just went off on his cat for like 20 minutes.
Oh,
and I'm just like, if you're gonna go and distract these people, cat pictures is probably the way to do it, because all of them are childless fucking harpies. This is how I get us banned. Explaining how evil cat ladies are running our fucking country into the ground because they're miserable cat ladies. You had one shot at a decent guy and you fucked it up, and now you're stuck with your cat. Wow, I just thought of a couple of my exes and I went, oh yeah, wow, fuck. If any of my exes are watching this, I don't mean you. Probably.
Someone's a little bit bitter.
I'm always bitter. It's just a matter of how much I let it out into the world. People have to remember, you should always pick one sin and make that your core sin. People assume I chose lust. Wrong. I chose wrath. I always chose wrath. People assume lust because of my business. You'd be wrong. You can't be lust and be in this business. You'll get yourself in trouble.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So that happened, and Insomniac Games is now like angry and demanding Sony supports whatever abortion rights, and I'm just like, I don't. Yeah. And I'm like Insomniac, why are you yelling at the people who publish your games?
Yeah, you don't want to blow up the business relationship.
They do. They do. Because these people are not business people. They're ideologues. They're communists. They only care about what's good for the tribe and the party, not what's good for them.
Yeah. I saw, and it's a lot of it's also getting pushed from, the I can't speak. Wow,
You can do it. You can do it. Come on.
Wow, I think I just had a stroke there. Anyways, so a lot of some of this is coming from the press. They want to make the press happy, so they get good reviews because they think that drives sales, even though it doesn't anymore.
It hasn't in 10 years, not since Gamergate. Which, by the way, I saw a new Gamergate article yesterday.
Oh, things are getting interesting regarding certain figures in that movement.
I don't care anymore. It's over.
Most people don't care.
It's been over for 10 years. Stop talking to me about that one time you almost made the winning touchdown in high school. You're 42 years old. Stop being a loser. Stop being a loser. It's been over a decade. Stop it.
We can only get Trump to tweet about Gamergate. We can win.
It was a funny joke 5 years ago. Then I realized no one was joking, and I just got really concerned.
Anyways, WAPO ran an article saying these game companies aren't talking about Roe v. Wade.
Yeah.
I was like, because a lot of them have fucking learned now to stay the fuck out of politics over the past 10 years.
A lot of them have learned if we keep talking about politics, we're going to lose all of our money. Sony's learning that the hard way. With their critically acclaimed The Last of Us 2, and I'm just like, the game wasn't that good. The first game was better. The second game's story is lacking. And also, did I really need the transsexual sex scene? Was that really necessary?
I was told I should play The Last of Us. But
the first one is okay. It's an okay game for what it is. Everyone makes it out as being this big cinematic, amazing thing. And then I played through and I'm like, this is just a hiding from zombies game. It's not that great. It's okay. It's difficult at times. Lord knows I died right after the warehouse scene like multiple times because I was poorly prepared. 1 and 2, I didn't realize I'd have to go through an area with nothing to hide behind.
But then I was like going back and forth because I have to play things in my own time.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I jump on stuff immediately. Sometimes it takes years. And I was thinking about playing it, and then Last of Us 2 came out, and I was thinking about maybe it's time to play 1.
And then the reviews for Last of Us 2 just kind of
it wasn't the reviews. It was I had that scene inflicted on me.
Oh.
And now I can't take the franchise seriously at all anymore.
Well, the first game should be taken somewhat seriously. The first game. The second game I couldn't take seriously because it became they were trying to change MCs in the middle of the game.
That's really hard to pull off.
That's really hard to pull off, 1. And 2, they did it with an MC that was just completely unlikable. And they really tore apart at the one MC, the beginning MC, the person who's from the first game. They really tore at all the parts of her that made her unique and great and good, and they kind of ripped those all out for the development of the second MC. And I'm like, this is not working.
Yeah, changing MCs is really hard
mid-game.
Even when you change it to even when the second MC is likable,
mm-hmm.
even when the second MC is well known, even when it's not a piece of even when it's not a video game or a piece of interactive fiction, and it's just an anime.
Yeah,
I'm looking at you, Gundam Seed Destiny. 55 episodes. You find out that the main character is not even the main character. But the only thing of like changing main characters like part of the way through I can think of that worked.
Metal Gear Solid 2?
Creed 3.
Oh. I went with Metal Gear Solid 2.
Metal Gear Solid 2 and then Assassin's Creed 3. I haven't played Metal Gear Solid 2, but Metal Gear Solid 2 is well regarded for a reason.
Well, the very first mission you do is as Snake. And you're a little older now, you're a little not as spry as from the first game. And then I'm not gonna tell you what happens because God forbid you end up playing it and get annoyed at me. But the next mission, the next mission is as Raiden, but you don't know it's Raiden. You kind of hear a voice that's not Snake. So you go, that's not Snake, but everyone's calling him Snake. I'm like, okay,
I know. Yeah, I know it's Raiden and stuff happens. It's hard to not be alive and get Metal Gear Solid spoilers.
I think Metal Gear Solid 2 is what made me libertarian. Like now that I really think about it, yeah, that was it.
You mean it wasn't being? You mean it wasn't working for the government and seeing how the sausage was made?
I mean that really reinforced it, but those ideas had to be in my head first, you know. And I'm just sitting there. I'm like, Solid as Snake is right. There are elite oligarchs who are just controlling every aspect of the world. Our wars are nothing but a plaything and a business opportunity for them. Alex Jones. He didn't help. He didn't help that either. Okay. Our last two things left. So Square Enix has dumped all of their Western games. They're selling them all off, or they've sold them all off.
Yeah, I saw that. That's probably a good thing because now the companies are free again to
work on things. And what's amazing is they're pumping out 2 new JRPGs right after that, and I go, whoa. Where'd this come from? I haven't heard about a new JRPG from you in years.
Yeah, it's like I forgot Square made JRPGs.
And I was like, wait, this isn't another Tomb Raider? You mean we're not remaking another Final Fantasy? By the way, where's episode 3 of this damn game? By the way,
you mean episode 2?
We haven't even gotten the DLC didn't do nothing to advance the story.
It's a side story.
Fuck you, episode 2. You have 30 more hours.
That was a side
You've
story.
done 2 hours of the first game.
Didn't you rant at me when I told you about it? That it was a completely new backstory for
I thought at least it was like Yuffie shows up and joins, and you're kind of going through the weird thing with the dolphin and the ship, and it's her just lamenting on her life. It doesn't have anything.
It's up to where she gets that from what I heard.
Oh. They've done 2 hours of the first disc.
Yes.
It takes you 27 hours to do 2 hours of the first disc. Okay, then.
That's why it's called FF7 or Integrate.
I don't care what it's called. I don't care what it's
intermission.
I don't care what it's called. I don't care. I figured the intermission was the boring part between the parade and getting to the other continent, and then you'd have to like chocobo race or something. But no. Because there's a whole big sleuth of where you're just kind of wandering around trying to figure out where the hell you're going. And there's lots of things to do in that time frame. But Final Fantasy VII was an old school JRPG, where you didn't really know where you were going. They kind of gave you a general idea, and you just kind of wandered around till you bumped into where you needed to go.
I both love and hate that about old JRPGs.
There's a reason why it took me 5 years to finish Final Fantasy 1, because I didn't know where to go in the very first game. And I mean, for the very first boss.
GameFAQs was an essential part of every young American's life at one point. What the fuck am I doing in this game?
Oh.
Where am I supposed to go?
Look, it could always be worse. It could always be worse. And you know how it could be worse?
A long dark hallway.
Yeah.
That's prettily colored, but it's still a long hallway.
That's like, okay, where am I going? Straight line. Okay, can I go back? Not really.
Not really.
What do you mean not really? But I need to level up. Yeah, well, you're stuck here now.
Oh, I'm under level. I need to go level up. You're stuck here.
Like, you're stuck here. Good luck. You're going to have to level here. Fuck you. And we're very, very pretty game. The story seemed interesting. Long, dark hallway.
Yes. How much have we spent on FF13?
It has been an FF13 shit along. I might just rename the title to FF13 shit along.
All things come back to FF13.
Oh. That's really an issue. I am not doing a game tutorial on Final Fantasy 13. I'm not doing it.
Do it.
I'm not doing it. Like, how do you beat Final Fantasy 13? You go forward. Straight line. This part, go straight. This part, go straight. This part right here, go straight.
You know what?
Right here, you want to go straight. This part right here, you're gonna want to go back, but you can't. So you have to go straight.
You have to go straight. You're be a fun troll, because you're doing it JRPGs, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna be doing JRPGs.
About the 4th or 5th episode, or maybe like once you get like maybe like 8 of them in the can.
Mm-hmm.
Do NBA 2K career mode.
You assume I play sports games, which is nice to assume, but I don't.
It's a JRPG. NBA 2K career mode is a JRPG.
I don't play sports games.
It's a JRPG. It is a
so is Captain Tsubasa. I still don't play it.
It is a grinding JRPG with a unique combat system.
As is Captain Tsubasa, which I also own, which I still don't play.
I haven't even heard of Captain Tsubasa.
You haven't heard of Captain Tsubasa, the best soccer player anime ever, which then got its own video game and its own on the phone video game, which I ended up playing.
The only sports anime I watch involved tanks.
You didn't watch the one where the girls use their boobs to against each other to knock each other into the water, make themselves wet?
No.
Wow. You need more culture in your life. I'll send you more titties later. I don't know what people are expecting of me at times. I go, yeah, what? That's a thing. Anything else video game wise? Because it has been a video game heavy show, tech heavy, video game heavy show. I think that's all I got for video games. Oh no, I don't, because this is breaking news, guys. Breaking news. Final Fantasy 11 isn't shutting down anytime soon, says the director of Final Fantasy 11.
Cool. Wait.
That 11.
You said 11. I was like,
yes.
Wait a minute.
Not 14, which 14, great, amazing, good, even though they're very anti third-party tools.
You said 11.
11 is not shutting down anytime soon, which made me go, oh, okay, wait a minute.
Wait a minute.
And then I had to think long and hard about when was the last time I played that game. And I'm like, that was like 4 expansions ago of Final Fantasy 14.
I remember that. I remember I was a little kid when that came out.
I remember playing that.
And I was pissed because I had just broke my PlayStation 2 and gotten an Xbox instead.
I remember getting.
And I was telling all my friends about, fuck you. The Xbox has a hard drive, so I don't need these memory cards. And then they all bought Final Fantasy 11. Now had this great MMORPG, and it came with a hard drive. Like, Xbox Live, so much better.
I mean, I will say at Xbox Live, I did a lot more of because I was going through my FPS days.
Everyone was having FPS days.
Yeah, that was the land of FPS times, and they'll give me great FPSs for their time. Great FPSs for their time. But I started off with JRPGs, and I ended up coming back to them eventually. It took a little bit of time because I needed that JRPG to finally get me back into the saddle.
It's weird because I actually started with I played platformers, but I wasn't really good at them.
Same.
But like my first gaming memories are sitting on my dad's lap as he played Doom 2.
See, my first gaming memories are me playing like Tetris.
And then like the first, like I didn't do so well at Mario 64. I played the crap out of Super Smash Bros. Even though I suck at fighting games. But the one I did have GoldenEye for whatever reason, but the N64 game I played the crap out of was Hexen, which is a Doom clone.
Yeah, why not just whatever? I'm like Turok. Turok was my N64 game of choice.
Yeah, it was
exploding arrowheads. Like, take this, giant dinosaur. Ha! That didn't kill you.
It was Hexen, and it was Star Wars Pod Racer.
Yeah, that was another game. My sister was big on the GTA clone, which was Simpsons Hit and Run.
Oh, that was a blast.
Why does everyone just like, this game was great? I go, it was okay for what it was, which was just a Crazy Taxi GTA clone.
It was a Crazy Taxi GTA clone, but it was The Simpsons. Whenever I go over to our friend's house, I play the shit out of it because The Simpsons were banned at my house, even though my dad watched it secretly.
I just played.
And then I would really scare my parents when I would watch South Park.
See, I just watch. I was older then, but my parents were big on South Park. I was not big on South Park until like season 3. Like before then, I was like, these jokes make sense, but they're not that funny.
I was big on South Park as soon as I became aware of it because it was banned. And it kept popping up. It kept popping up when I would watch Raw or SmackDown or Nitro.
Yeah, same. But like
you forget how big a cultural thing South Park was once it really got going. Until you tune into an old Monday Night Raw and people just have Cartman plushies that they're holding up in the crowd, and you're like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Like that was the thing. Like it was big, and I just kind of went, that's cool. And like probably because my parents were big into it, and I'm like that's okay. And because my parents were very big into it, me being a teenager, I was like, that's cool. I'm going to play D&D.
Fucking nerd.
This is how I rebel. The last thing
I rebelled by not watching cartoons at all.
It's terrible.
My dad was like, let's watch Looney Tunes. It's like, no, I want to watch the fucking History Channel.
Yeah, no,
and then I became a teenager and I rebelled by watching anime instead.
There you go.
Why won't you watch good American cartoons? Because they suck.
They probably did it at that point. the Andy Tartanovsky, whatever, the guy who made like Dexter's Lab and Powerpuff Girls and like all the really good Cartoon Network cartoons. His era was a great time to
It was
watch
amazing.
cartoons. And then they stopped showing the shows, and then they tried remaking them, and they are very determined to make this Powerpuff Girls live action thing happen, but it's not going to happen. They've gone through like 3 actresses so far for the same character. It's not happening. It is not happening. I'm very sorry.
You're not making.
No one wants to do this. No one wants this made. Stop trying to make Fetch. You can't make Fetch happen. Okay. It's not happening. The last thing on the docket is talking about conventions.
Oh yeah, ACEN.
ACEN. I think I saw something about anime. What the hell? What's the big anime con in San Francisco?
I'm not sure.
The big one, the biggest one in LA. I can't remember what the hell it was called.
That one's fuck.
Like I had the name in my head when we started, and
Yeah.
now that we've been doing this all this entire time, I'm like, and the structure's gone. Fuck it. Anyway.
You mean Anime Expo AX?
Yes. The one that's in like the big one that everyone wants to go to, but you have to stand in a 3-hour line in the California heat.
F that noise.
To get into the convention center while trying to dodge the homeless people. The real reward of Anime Expo is the herpes you get after that one homeless guy rub feces on your face. Thinner.
So what the hell? Before we got sidetracked by trying to remember convention names.
So ACEN removed restrictions and then put them back in place or something like that. Like
they removed restrictions. They got the Twitter mob lost their shit.
The Twitter mob's not real.
They got bad press and Anime News Network.
Anime News Network isn't real either. It's one guy in Canada living in his basement. I don't care if you read a hit piece on me.
Some of their staffers quit, and then they reinstituted restrictions after that.
Look, I'm staff at several conventions. Most staffers are quitting right now, regardless of what you do. It's a matter of figure out your culture and what you want to cultivate and figure it out. Most of the people who quit over restrictions on masks and stuff, most of them are just going, listen, just let me be. Stop giving me more rules. Well, the people who are clamoring for rules are they're the cat ladies of life. Again, it's just more cat ladies just who won't let people be. This person's having fun in a way that I don't think is socially acceptable. That's nice. What are they doing to you? Well, they're existing. It's like, I like you people better when you all went to church and you wore pearls and sat around talking about someone's sexual life. And you believe this woman, she went out with this man, and on the second date, she held his hand. Whore. Jezebel. Am I wrong though?
You're not wrong. I'm also laughing because I got through the student festival today, and when you go into like the indoor garden thing,
mm-hmm.
You talk to a random student, it's like, yeah, me and my girl, we might finally go to the next level. We might even be ready for hand holding.
Jezebels everywhere. Anyway,
just
So
yeah, they reinstituted like it's like the week before they released restrictions, and then 2 days later they reinstituted them. Some of them.
Excuse me. You only need it in panel rooms, any large gathering areas, the artist alley, the dealer's room. So
The
pretty much
entire con.
the entire convention, except for if you're outside. And I go, okay.
Yeah, that's the con.
I'm like, that's majority of the con area. I like Matsuri's way of doing it. It's like, wear a mask, don't wear a mask, figure it out for yourself.
Yeah,
it's fine. I still I take the train and bus home, and let me tell you, the conductors on there, some of them wear masks, some don't. Do what you want. I'm not too worried about it.
Yeah, do what you want.
What if you get sick? I'll be fine. What if someone you know gets sick? They'll be fine. What if they die? They die. It'll be sad and depressing, but I will not sit around blaming myself because I have a life. It's kind of it. I have a life. I have things to do. I don't need all this excess crap. So they did this. Like I saw them release, and I'm like, that's cool. And then I watched the usual suspects start crying in the anime community.
Yeah,
There's always the same 5 very vocal people. Well, I'm just like, if you didn't show your fucking tits in a low cut top all the time, none of us would care about anything you have to say. And those of us who do are just trying to get our dick between those titties. That's it. Like, that's all. And they go, well, what about the lesbians? Same shit, different body part. What?
Anyways,
we are probably banned. I have been pushing this hard today.
It's like, wow. I wonder. I'm gonna get some emails after this.
Probably not, unless your school watches our podcast.
Probably not.
Hi guys. Hi ethics board.
I haven't said shit. What are you looking at?
These are all my personal views and beliefs. More or less, yeah. More or less my own personal views and beliefs. So that's been going on.
My opinions are my own. I don't represent shit.
Like, well, you represent your company. My company's beliefs are about boobs and boob accessories.
Yeah.
I feel like I should have like a Dickland shirt that says, we deal in boobs and boob accessories.
You mean Strickland, but Dickland?
You know what I said. I would wear that shirt around in public and watch people go, what the fuck? Go what? It's a company. Dickland. They deal in boob and boob accessories. They're a plastic surgeon. They do amazing work. Here, check out these right here. Where are you going? Come back. I'm trying to show you. I needed to find me a plastic surgeon now and have his name changed legally to Dickland.
Dickland Medical Associates.
No, Dickland and Sons. Would you prefer N daughters?
Anyways, holy crap, we've killed an hour.
We have. I needed
and most of it's been getting ourselves in trouble or crapping on FF13.
To be fair, 13 deserves more shitting on.
But Lightning's hot though.
The sequel games were good and had a good storyline and a good combat system.
That long hallway though.
That the sequel games aren't long hallways though.
I know, that's why I said that long hallway though.
It's like throwing a hot dog down a hallway. Anyway, so that happened. You know what's funny is Anime Expo last time I checked, and I think this popped up in the Panelists United thing. apparently they are removing restrictions to you won't need a medical card check, and masks are encouraged but not enforced.
It's because everyone's tired of it.
Because they were losing money. And people go, well, people only care about the money and not their health. Go, no, people were deciding not to do anything because they didn't want to not have fun. Like, I understand the difference between between Katsucon and Anime Matsuri was huge for me. Katsucon, I had some fun, but only when everyone just got tired of wearing their masks. Matsuri, I had a blast the whole damn time.
That was actually legitimately the most fun I've had at a convention.
It was the most fun I've had at a convention in a long time.
In a long freaking time.
In a long time. And it could just be there's a different con culture out down south. Maybe it could be that they've cultivated a different, but it's also like I had an absolute blast at ClossCon East. Absolute blast. And again, it was just no one really cared. You want to wear a mask? Wear a mask. Don't want a mask? Don't wear a mask. Everyone's having a good time.
Yeah, CCE had a good CCE, Colossal Con, and AX last year had a blast.
Yeah. And then I'm like, Otakon, I'm like, well, I don't really have a lot of fun. I work this one. I can't.
Yeah, you're working the entire time.
I'm working damn near the whole time. Sometimes into the fucking ground. I'm still in limbo, by the way, as I watch two different departments fight over me, as each one decides who needs me more.
Shouldn't you be like knee deep in preparations by now?
Meh.
It's like 2-3 months away.
Listen, my idea of preparation depends upon what department I'm in. And if I'm in press, my preparation is to not know anyone who's coming into the press office, so I don't fucking fawn over them at all. My preparation for treasury is count money. And I've been doing that since I was like 5. There's lots of bookies in the family. And I'm very good at just taking a wad of bills.
What I'm saying is, for the con, shouldn't the con be knee deep in
getting
lined up?
The con absolutely is, but I'm not personally.
They should have their staff lined up already figured out by now.
Haven't staffed a lot of cons before, have you?
I'm used to working with organizations that have their shit together. I forget most cons don't.
Yeah, no. You're looking at a bunch of pseudo bureaucrats who don't really work well as team members normally. So, yeah.
Well, most bureaucracies usually like this is happening so far away. We need to start figuring this out, even if they don't actually do anything.
Oh, they've been talking about it for months, but they don't actually do anything. That's a different thing. I might remove the beard and just go straight handlebar mustache for the rest of the month, just to try it out.
As you see yourself,
I'm like, I just might. Yeah. I'm like, yeah, I got the handlebars right there. I'm just gonna and like maybe start wearing a bandana to work. You know, and say, hey, brother,
what you gonna do?
What you gonna do when it's time to go to work? I don't know.
What you gonna do when package deliverer runs wild on you?
We're running wild here, brother.
And then you work for a competitor. Dude has betrayed WCW.
Otakon is coming up. I have no answers on anything changing with them regarding their mask stuff. At this point in time, whatever. I'm at a hard whatever.
Yeah. The other con that shall not be named. The official is whatever the CDC said. Not whatever the CDC says. It's whatever Houston lets us get away with.
Honestly, that's how I would run any con I would run. I'd be like, what will the city let me do? I can have a parade, you say? Like Darren,
what-
how did you get a giant just balloon of what the hell was the woman who, in Powerpuff Girls? You never saw her face, but her cleavage is always right there.
I know what you're talking about, but I forget the character.
Yeah, I would just have a giant just bust of her as a balloon walking down, going, "Yep, there we are." What's that? It's that one girl from Powerpuff Girls. Can't you recognize her? Where's her face? You never see her face.
You never see her
You
face.
see her cleavage though. It's always right there. Let's let you know where are the girl's eyes were always were. Powerpuff Girls lesbians. True. All right.
Well, most magical girls tend to be lesbian in my experience.
99% of the time. Unless they're a magical girl who's actually a boy, in which case they turn into a girl at the end. Wait, no, that's most dojins. 99% dojins.
Anyways,
on
that note.
So I will be starting a gaming channel pretty soon, mostly dealing with JRPGs and walkthroughs, and I'll probably give everyone like a quick little before you decide on whether or not you want to get this game. Here's some relevant information about it and why you may or may not like it. Because I'm very good at deciding what people would like. Like I said with Trails of Cold Steel, if you like anime tropes, this is the game for you.
It's packed. It's all anime tropes.
It's the entire thing is just anime tropes, the video game. You are literally a main character who goes to a military school and you use a katana. Excuse me, a tai chi, which is just a katana.
Wait a minute. I want mechs in my anime in my JRPGs. Wait a minute. It's coming.
It's coming. It's a long haul towards it, and you get a lot more of it in the second game than the third game. In fact, all the major boss battles in the second game end in giant robot battles.
That's going to be fucking annoying.
What's really annoying is the majority of the giant robot battle thing is just rock, paper, scissors.
Oh, I've played Fate Extra. I can deal with that.
It's just like, fuck. And then in the third game, they change it to hit the right spot, otherwise you get countered. I go, fuck. Like, you see, you're looking at going, one of these three is the right spot, and he's standing that way. Wrong. Fuck.
Oh well.
Got it.
Anyways.
All right, this has been Darren Silvers of HentaiGeek.com. We are working on content. I swear we are. We are supposed to do a shoot on the 25th, 24th. Our May shoot was, canceled because every single model went, I'm sorry, I'm busy, like the week before.
Oops.
And I'm like, okay, whatever. I'm just going to cancel.
I have an article for you. I sent it to you yesterday.
I haven't had time to actually sit down and read it. I saw it, and I'm like, I will read it Thursday.
I just want to make sure that it's well researched. It's just I want to make sure it clears on the level.
Yeah. Well,
I tried not to get too ranty, but
if you get ranty, just write the word opinion on there.
I got a little ranty about anti-slot motions.
That's right. The most important thing to remember is this, guys. As nerd culture evolves and we learn to inoculate ourselves from politics, if someone wants your opinion on something that's political, that isn't about your content, talk about your cats.
Anyways.
Good night, everybody.
Night.